I'm Laura, I'm Marketing Manager at BlueSky, and I'm here today with...
I'm Rosie, Account Manager at BlueSky.
I'm Adrian, Head of Supply Chain.
And I'm Vern, one of the Senior Sales Consultants, also at BlueSky.
And today we're here to share some of the lessons and insights from the brands that we work with and how to avoid the mistakes that can cost time, money and momentum. So firstly, I want to kick off with one question. What's one common mistake you see from brands scaling up quickly?
Sometimes assuming custom stock can be ready in 4 weeks. We usually give a guideline of around 8 to 10 weeks depending on the product. So some brands that we work with tend to provide a forecast. We will hold the stock here for them and they can call off as and when needed.
Another issue we see sometimes with brands scaling is that they haven't put enough input into product compatibility, ensuring that it'll actually go the full life cycle that the consumer needs it to.
I second that. There's a lot of assumption out there that the compatibility of a pack is the responsibility of the provider, as in BlueSky. And whilst we never sell products or packs that are incompatible with each other, we don't always know the type of products that are going in the packs. So if it's an oil, or whether it's a solid product or a powder, all these different products react very differently in different packs. So certainly that's something that we always maintain, that customers must do their incompatibility testing.
So would you say that the earlier that our customers involve us, the better?
Absolutely, I suggest that every time. We're working currently with customers that are launching products in first quarter of 2026, and we won't supply goods until they're ready for them. However, it does give us plenty of time to make sure that we can ensure there's full compatibility, there's sufficient lead time available to produce the goods, and any testing, market launches and customer testing can be done prior to going for a full launch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll second that. Hats off to brand owners, because we're well aware of the hard yards it takes to get a product to market. But there are things that you can do to mitigate issues at launch stage. And one of those is having a predicted forecast. No one knows what the forecast is going to be, especially if it's a new product. But you can make predictions and share those predictions with your supplier, BlueSky. And then we will then work in tandem to make sure we're there to support you, especially through the early stages.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with bespoke samples as well. Working with a couple of brands at the moment that are launching next year, and we're working on printed samples, so the sooner the better, and we can get them produced and we can send you samples for compatibility testing. So as soon as you get us involved, we're ready to go, really.
One of the most common questions that we get is, should I stick to a stock product or should I customise? It all depends on the type of project that the customer has, of course, but we also help to really guide them on that journey. How do we best do that? What kind of scenarios do we have where we're helping to guide customers in that direction of whether to stick to stock or go into more of a customised route?
I'd say there's two key factors that always influence whether someone uses custom packaging or whether they use a product that's available from stock. And firstly, that is the quantity, and secondly, that's the speed they want to bring the product to market. If they're looking to bring a product to the market, whether it's a brand new product or a reiteration of an existing product, then we'd always recommend, and they want to bring it to the market quickly, then we'd always offer something that's available from stock or something from within our supply chain that we know that we can get with a guaranteed lead time. The flip side, if it's a custom product from the start of the project and the quantities involved typically would always be a lot higher, and we need to ensure that if the customer wants to bring that product to the market, they're well aware of what those lead times could be, and the testing that may be involved and the sampling process well ahead of the launch date that they intend to hit.
And you could add to that, especially with custom projects, a higher level of investment, because you're investing in potentially new tooling, artwork, and that's a key thing to factor in, that if you're taking a new product to market or a new brand to market and you want something bespoke, just be aware there is a higher level of investment required.
And we do have lots of products from stock. which you can make nice and different on the shelves. You can put a nice label on it, you can put an outer packaging box on it. So you've got over 500 products available from stock that you can make your own.
From your side, what trends are you seeing as the most dominant in terms of the requests that we're getting in the market today?
Key legislation like EPR and PPWR is affecting the way people design their packaging, and for the better as well. So some key trends we're seeing are simply, is it recyclable, curbside recyclable? Can your pack be mono, i.e. all made of the same material? And if it's a refillable product where you can reduce waste and usage, can a refill system be used? Mm-hmm. But there's some options there that we are seeing a massive trend on, and that's being shaped by new legislation.
Yeah. We recommend a sweet spot particularly for PCR with PET at 35%. Obviously, we have options up to 100. Could you just briefly explain why we say 35% is a sweet spot for PET in particular?
The reason behind that is simply because if everyone wanted 100% PCR, what that does is just increase the market price of PCR recycler for manufacturers. And we saw that in the early days, several years ago, when the plastic packaging tax came out. Some of the massive beverage brands actually bought all the PCR stock available, and it was impossible for some of the smaller brands to actually get PCR in their product because there wasn't any and the price was too high. So people just stayed with virgin polymer. So if you actually just have a 35% inclusion, this meets the plastic packaging tax requirements. You are contributing to a circular economy because you're including recycled products. And this helps the whole thing forward.
So what you recommend is 35% is the sweet spot. It's the perfect choice, really, for a lot of the brands in PET.
So I'd recommend anything above 30% PCR. It helps keep the whole thing circular, keeps costs to a minimum for the brand owner. And if we remember the 3 R's, reduce, recycle, reuse, it all helps in relation to that whole circular process.
Fantastic. What would be your one piece of advice for a brand that's scaling fast and struggling with their packaging?
Get in touch with us. I know it's hard to provide forecasts, but where you can, we can hold it in the UK for you. We can dispatch as and when you need. You'll have the stock within 1 to 2 working days. As long as you take it, by 6 months, 12 months, and we can store it here and it's ready to go for you.
Okay.
I'd say keep it simple. Brand is an emotion. So the simpler your brand, in a sense, the easier it is for your product to connect with the consumer. And we find that good quality, simple, functional packaging that you can add some flair to, some colour to, will always win the day.
Okay.
I'd say the sooner you include your packaging provider, and in fact, the sooner you include all the providers that are involved in bringing that pack to the market, the better. We've seen in recent times just how lead times can be affected drastically, whether that's because of issues just purely with transport or whether it's shortage of materials, certain things that we're still seeing. And the sooner that you can involve your key suppliers in bringing a pack to market, then the more they're going to be able to do to help you to ensure that you hit the date that you're intending to launch.
That's perfect. Thanks, Vern. Let's be honest, customers have choices. What do you think really sets BlueSky apart?
Our customers trust us. We have customers that have worked with us for a number of years, and we are their trusted partner.
Also a consultative sales process. It's not just about racing to get an order for a product that you're not confident is going to perform, do what it needs to be doing for the customer. At the end of the day, customer's brand is their livelihood, and they're very, very passionate, and we want our products and the products that we supply to be part of that story, and for them to have full confidence it's going to perform every time.
Thank you.
I think it's in our strapline, which is enhancing brands, empowering sustainability, and ensuring supply, because they're three critical components to the success of a brand, especially if they're scaling that brand.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.